Damn, there's a hotline up right across the board. I got another set of them down here, Clearwood. Yeah, that's a little odd. What are you trying to tell me, 42? Plank. Got it. Nice. Alright, so which one of these? I think over the next 3 months, energy market. Alright, Chicago teacher market. I've been banging a lot today. Sure, the nightly news is going to cover it. Some of those have to do with. I'm sure this is going to touch up in there at some point in time. Probably a little bit of this. Energy. Aha. Just go to jail.
Here now, Joe Concha, the Hill columnist, is also a Fox contributor, and Carrie Lucas, Independent Women's Forum president. Carrie, I want to go ahead and start with you because the soundbite was very compelling there. Not only are the kids being held hostage at home, but the moms are being held hostage at home. And that's one of the big problems that we have is getting women back into the labor force. And so you talk about these astronomical amounts of money that have been granted to the schools, $1.8 billion in Chicago, and you say, why can't you get your act together to make the environment safe?
So let's just factor schools. How many schools
the health department, nobody is saying that schools are unsafe here except for you.
A, B, C.
Absolutely. This is deja vu for a lot of parents who spent years wondering if they were going to be able to show up at work and how they were going to be able to teach their kids. What parents are realizing right now is they need leverage and they don't have it. Chicago Public Schools spend $15,000 per pupil. Parents are going to be saying, I want that money. I want to be able to decide where my kids go to school so I can take that money and find somebody who wants to teach my kids and is going to show up in person.
Absolutely. It makes a lot of sense. Joe, I want to go to you because you and I both know that we could eternally live in a bubble if we want to try to protect ourselves. We could get hit by a bus just trying to cross the street. And actually, if you stay at home, you're not really safe either. You could slip and fall in the bathtub and die too. I mean, where does this end?
Area. Under the curve.
I slipped and fell in my shower, I swear to you, 10 days ago.
They get a little bit simpler as you go, and generally would factor some of the general models inside the regional workforce models, schools, obviously school.
Look, the New York Times, March of 2021. This is after New York City schools reopened.
According to the other one, there's not one here. This is the biggest county in New York. Well, this is the biggest county in New York, right?
City's public school systems
one of the
have
little
seen remarkably low
quadrants
virus
of it.
transmission. They go on to say
And
that
that goes
in
farther,
city school buildings,
obviously.
quote, only
But while you're
0.4%,
from the macro,
think of
micro,
that,
Peloton, Zoom,
0.4% of
DocuSign,
tests came back positive for
whatever you're going to
coronavirus.
do for
That
what
was
this
during a
is in
period, by
here,
the way,
it
when
becomes
virus
that. I
cases
mean,
were
I have one
spiking
about
in
the
the
college
community.
institution,
Chicago
military
public
bases
schools,
are
they came
here.
to the
This
same
is that,
conclusion.
and
There's
that's
no
New York.
significant
If the federal
transmission, so
budget or
that's
state
the
budget
science,
on
and
the
therefore that should be
defense
the
stock
end
is
of
X,
the
then
argument.
you have
But I read
Z
also
function
in the New York
twisted
Times,
here
an
because,
op-ed by David
I mean,
Leonhardt, and it argued earlier this week that for the past 2 years, we're accepting
now,
more
while you're in
damage to
shop,
children in exchange for less
whatever you're
harm
doing,
to adults.
Vitruvian
And the thing is, there really
female
isn't
there,
any
whatever
harm
you're
here anyway
dancing
when you
with.
consider that 90% of
I
Chicago
know,
teachers
let me
are
get to where I'm
vaccinated.
going.
So study after study shows,
I
Jackie,
don't want this.
virtual
Well,
learning
mailbox,
has horrific effects
obviously.
on a child's mental and emotional health.
Yeah,
I
you
have
could
a
take
6
them
and
to work
8-year-old,
with you,
trust
but
me.
this is
I'm
where
not
it's
saying that
relative
they're
here.
that far
Generally,
gone,
just
but
locally
it certainly
gravity
has
is
had
going to
an
be
impact
useful.
on them. You see it. And for teachers
Teachers
in places
union.
like Chicago
I mean,
and
it's
New
like
York
we can
and
do
elsewhere, to
computer
deny this
engineering if you
data
want. How
means
many
they're either
diodes, how many
uninformed or
programs,
motivated by
how
other
many
factors.
Well, maybe
models
they are
of things you
motivated
could
by
do
other factors.
for
Carrie, I
school.
want to go back to you because part of the problem here isn't necessarily the
Um,
safety of the schools.
As a teacher, the agenda,
Joe points out, a
this is
lot of the adults are
hyperbole, this
vaccinated, and
is
we know that while the
a
children
free
might
wave
transmit the
particle,
virus, they're not getting
Schrodinger's
severely
hydrogen
ill
wave
from it.
function, if
So
you
you
really
have to
want to
say
be
to yourself,
technical.
what is motivating
Because
the teachers'
in
unions?
the area of the electron that has 0, here, well, I mean, really to factor it, that's
during the workday. And I'm not
daily,
saying that
weekly,
that is all
monthlies, right?
teachers,
And if I wanted to break out my other
certainly seem to be some who are
mailbox,
milking the system. Let's
she's
just
got the
say
SAW
that.
program. Here's the list
Yeah,
of,
absolutely.
every day
I'm
you
a
have to check
parent of
this. You have
5
to check the
public school
oil,
kids
check
here in
the
Virginia, and there certainly
ditches,
was
do
a
all the
feeling
things on
last
it, and
year
that's
during
the
COVID,
main Sawyer
that
detail. Then you
teachers
get
just
into some
didn't, a lot of
splits
them
on
just
this
weren't
that
putting
start
kids
to
in
be
TRIS first.
a little bit
They
of an
were
operator
slow
Sawyer,
walking,
or
going
any
back
task
to COVID
model
and
into
resuming
that. That's an
in-person learning.
overseer's
The
thing
thing that
for
was so
start
interesting
really
is
into
it
a
was such a
mechanic.
contrast
or a
contrast
boss.
with,
When you get down
private
here, final
schools,
checks aren't
they
just
resumed
every
in-person
oil, it's
learning
what's
as
the
soon as they
rotation of
could.
that oil.
And
So
you did
if you
have this
check in
feeling
those
that it was
lines like
because
that, you'll
for
see zero
private schools,
pullouts on the
parents
cuts, and
mattered. They want
see
them,
zero
wanted them to
stone
be
coming out,
satisfied.
the
They wanted
lineup's
to
going to be
keep
all
that
messed
business.
up, the
Public
timelines are
schools
not,
simply don't
timetables are
have
not the
much of a
same,
reason
and
to care about parents.
That's a great point. It's results
Ewing's
oriented,
angle,
right? 'Cause you're
oilhead,
paying
you
so
could get
much for
into
that
all kinds of
education. The parents are going to
paradoxes
be up in
and
arms.
take them all down.
Joe, in the
Black
last moments
hole,
that we have, you know,
talk about
to you,
black body
this is
problem
a
being an
broader
area of
problem, right?
curve,
That doesn't
and
necessarily just have
it's
to
not
do
just,
with schools. I think they're a good example. They're sort of
again,
a microcosm of
servos,
what's
if you
happening.
wanted
But
to
getting
really
people back
get loose
to
from it,
work
this
in
is real,
general,
right?
here,
Just
even here
close
in New York
to,
City, has been difficult
close
because
enough
so
not to
many
be
people
either.
have enjoyed the freedom that they've
Anybody.
had the last 2 years. Many people are getting checks in the bank still from the
So,
government as a
yeah,
result
you
of it,
do
and
your
nobody
task,
wants
you
to go
figure,
back.
this is a
This
real
the
one, this is,
culture that we
the
have
reason I
fueled here.
don't, I worked in those mills,
That's
and I was
true.
like, you
in
gotta
some cases, it may
earn
not
this,
necessarily
kid,
be a
and
bad
I didn't
thing,
have anybody
because
show
at
it to
least
me.
when you work from
And
home,
I'm
it
showing me
takes
this
away the
first
commute.
price
And
matrix
you know
with the
Jackie from
master
being a
models
Jersey
and
girl
how to
and
draw
being a
them
Jersey
out
guy
and
and
pencil
commuting
them
into the
in,
city.
figure out your cost,
It can be
$1,
sometimes
$2
a
tax,
2-hour
obviously
ordeal, and
thousands.
suddenly before you know it, you've
Run
lost
block and
15,
tread,
20
but you
hours
don't
out of your
own
week.
anything,
So
you
you
don't own
start your day
trucks, you don't
earlier
own
when
the
you work
woods,
from
you
home.
don't own
You can work
anything
later.
in here,
There
and
is
if
no
I
going
give
out
you
to
this
lunch
as
with
the
other
degree,
people or really socializing
boy,
with other
that'd be
people.
useful for
Then again,
teaching
there
some
is
kid about not
obviously
only the
the
backup of
other
having
side of that,
gravity,
which says that you do need to have
but
in-person
also working
communication
this thing for the first
meetings
time
and
because it's
camaraderie and so on. So
hillbilly
it
spinner,
goes
your
both ways. But
landscaper
as you said,
model, your
once you
quote
get
for
used
the
to
pie chart, what
working
is
in your pajamas, and
up
right now I'm
for
wearing sweatpants. I have to admit that. You can get kind of used to
buckle
it
on.
after a while. But I think ultimately we do have to get people back into work because the businesses
time.
also around, say in New York, for example, all those restaurants, all those places that depend on people walking by, they ain't walking by right now.
Right, cities are not
I
going to
have
function
it. It's
if
again
you've
to take
got
it
a
down
ghost
as a
town,
general
essentially.
subject matter
It's
because
just
as
not going
useful
to
as
work,
this is,
and
and I
this
can,
economic
it
revival
became
here in New York City is not going to happen
arbitrary to
unless
run
people start to
Schrodinger's
come in.
wave function in the
Joe,
stone
great
mill,
to see you as always.
or spin wave
Discussion really
direction.
helpful.
It's
Carrie, great to see you too.
simple enough.
Hey, do you want to take beautiful photos in a place just like this?